a Chinese vocal artist, active worldwide in opera and concert. She first came to international attention at age 27 in a sensational debut as Cho Cho's son in the 1995 acclaimed feature film Madame Butterfly. Since then, she has appeared in world-renowned opera houses in major roles, notably Susanna in La Noce de Figaro, Pamina in The Magic Flute, and Sophie in Der Rosenkavalier. Huang Ying is dedicated to using her voice to bridge the East and the West. She's been frequently invited to perform on celebration occasions such as the groundbreaking 1997 Vienna White Christmas concert with Placido Domingo and Michael Bolton. She's now a professor at the Shanghai Conservatory of Music. Dividing her time between Shanghai and New York, Huang Ying still continues to perform around the world. Welcome to ICON. Good to see you again here. And thank you for the brochure. This is the brochure of your solo concert, Voice of Spring.
Yes, I have just finished Voice of Spring, my recital, big recital, big challenge recital at NCPA Concert Hall.
If I persist in gazing, myself I shall adore. If I persist in gazing, myself I shall adore. Myself I shall adore. If I persist.
It went very well, and of course, as a serious artist, nothing is perfect. It took me quite a long time to adjust afterwards, you know, physically, mentally. I just reviewed what I have done, and I also listened to the recording because I also involved editing the recording for the broadcasting.
You do editing yourself?
No, I'm involved with a specialist here at NCPA's department of production department. So it's very serious thing, you know. It's recording once it's broadcast. So you know it's out, and people can hear. You know, nothing's perfect, but I just, you know, as a serious artist, you know, we're too serious.
Well, so I can still say, I can sense it. You're happy with the concert. Yeah.
I'm happy, but no, I could be better, always could be better, you know.
And one project after another, and following this will be your major one, the opera, Der Rosenkavalier.
Der Rosenkavalier.
I'm sorry, der Rosenkavalier.
Yes, German.
That's right. That's German. I don't speak German.
Rosenkavalier. That was the Italian accent.
Here you go. Here you go. Right.
No, I was exaggerated. So I'm working on German right now every day. You know. you know how hard the foreign language is.
Absolutely.
You know? Not beside the English, of course, and since you don't really speak the language, and you sing the role, it's long role, and every day I have to practice. It's very, very fast phrases, you know. Dear Rosenkavalier.
Okay, dear Rosenkavalier. Let me try that one.
Bravo.
And you'll be singing Sophie again. And this is, once again, is a classic.
Classic opera, of course, by Richard Strauss.
Yes.
It's so beautifully written with a great librettist, Hofmannsthal, and they worked together for this masterpiece forever.
But this is not really the first time you performed this character, Sophie, right?
10 years ago, 2005. In 2005, I have performed this role, Sophie, in the Rosenkavalier by Richard Strauss at the Opera House of National Danish Opera House.
After 10 years, to be able to sing the same character again, but on a different stage, how different does it feel for you?
Well, different productions, different cast, different conductor and director, and of course, it's new production from NCPA. It's beautiful production. If you see the picture, it's a Rococo style. And also the challenge is still the singing. It's complicated music, very complicated. A lot of characters and complicated scenes. But music, the most important thing is music. It's so beautiful.
How have you been preparing for this project?
For me, 6 months. Even I was reviewing. I'm still reviewing this music, this character. And I think this time the character will be more mature than the first time I've done.
Ein Tag, schöner Tag.
Look. Go.
I've translated the text from word for word, from German to English, sometimes to Chinese, because if I really don't understand what English means, if you look at my score, it's all apart. Every word. It's not easy for opera singers.
Once again, the cast is an international cast this time.
Yes, I said mostly singers from Germany. So for me, as a Chinese singer, so I'm always learning. I think it's very good atmosphere working together. I can ask those equally experienced singer to teach me German, to correct me German. So never stop learning, right?
To be a Chinese opera singer, there could be even some extra challenges because we're talking about this environment. Because this is in China, a Western art form. In China, Western opera, classical music is not as deeply rooted as, say, folk music. You know, traditional operas in China. It's been imported. And it's still done in the Western way, right?
Yes.
And it's not as popular as, you know, pop music. And even Western pop music is still pop music. So do you think now things have been changing, say, over the past 20 years, that classical music has been more accepted by Chinese music lovers?
Yes, fortunately. Yeah, it has been improving and has been changing in the good, right direction in China.
And showing more respect to classical music now.
Yes, and I think I am very lucky to be one of the missionary to use my voice to build this bridge for the West and East culture. My first breakthrough was 1995, Puccini's opera film, Madame Butterfly. I was just a young graduate student from Shanghai Conservatory. And directly, the cultural minister sent me to Paris. I was overnight star.
When and which one, which opera, which production, which competition would you see as your first break of your career?
My first breakthrough was 1995, Puccini's opera film, Madame Butterfly. I was just a young graduate student from Shanghai Conservatory. And directly, the cultural minister sent me to Paris. I was overnight star after I've been chosen for the Madame Butterfly.
You didn't expect that?
I didn't expect that because, strictly saying, for soprano voice, we have different categories, I am lyric coloratura soprano, so which means lighter voice with coloratura.
Okay.
And some singers, singing pure coloratura, like a Queen of the Night. There is a pure, very high and a slimmer voice. Butterfly, Madame Butterfly is mostly for bigger voice, like lyric soprano voice. So you always see singers singing on stage. This role is very challenging. You're always acting on stage, never off the stage, and always singing, acting. So it's a very heavy role. It requires big voice, bigger sopranos, and usually Western sopranos, make up as a Japanese 15 years old character.
But you won the audition.
I won because there was the movie. The movie requires 15 years old looking.
And you were still young at the time, right?
20 years ago.
Yeah, wow. I guess the director must have plenty of reasons to justify his decision at the time. But to you personally, it was a movie,
So, yeah.
Madame Butterfly,
Right.
It was a major production. How important was it to you?
It was very important in my life.
risponde oggi mia nome è dolore però ditelmo lo scrive con il giorno del
I was overnight star. I was overnight star, and on the magazines, the classical music magazines in London, in New York, and it was after this production of the movie, after years, you know, they still filming, they still broadcasting on PBS, BBC, right, and also released in the first of all videotape. That time it's video,
yeah, cassette
and then
tape,
later a video cassette, and then later transformed to the DVD releasing and CD releasing. So it's huge promotion for a young singer, especially opera singer. You know, most opera singer never get a chance to play the to sing in a movie. So that was huge production, a huge promotion. I was very, very fortunate.
So for a young opera singer like yourself, the overnight stardom, did you cope with it fine?
It was not. It was very difficult after the Butterfly movie, especially before 2005. You have to reprove yourself. I had I only have my talent. I always have my talent, my voice, and you have to be really smart about how you're dealing. How you work, you know, really be perfect, be really professional to working with international artists.
But what do you mean by you have to prove yourself again, reprove yourself?
Reprove myself is that as opera singers, a regular routine, you should be graduate from maybe say Juilliard School or, you know, the Western famous music school. And then you do the voice competition, or you went to the young artist program in opera houses. I didn't speak English 20 years ago, okay, when I did that movie even at the beginning. And when I'm working with them, I barely speak, you know, I speak little English, but also cultural gap, alone, out of, away from home, away from friends, family, and almost no friends. That's more difficult for me. I'm not afraid of alone, but loneliness is here, right?
That's right.
So you don't have a you don't have a support system, you know. You don't have support system. You are on by yourself. You got to be strong if you want to make it. Every singer's goal is to sing on stage of Metropolitan Opera House. Mr. Gelb called me right away, and he said, "Come for audition for that role." I said, "Okay, I can do it. My voice is gone, but I try. I can do it."
We talked about your first breakthrough, that was Madame Butterfly,
yes.
the movie
The
production in 1996. The next one, 2006?
The next one. Yes,
Metropolitan.
So Metropolitan Opera.
But how important is that in Metropolitan?
Course. Every singer's goal is to be on the stage, to sing on stage of Metropolitan Opera House. Every singer's dream is like, get a phone call one day, said, hey, it's Metropolitan Opera.
Do you still remember the day when you got the call?
Yes, I remember. I got the call from Metropolitan Opera House's general manager. I was very proud of it. And Mr. Gelb called me right away, not through my agent, called me. I'm very proud of it. And he said, could you do this role? Come for audition for that role. And I was very tired. I did a recording and I was going to rest, and I said, next day or in 2 days, I'll go to Beijing, blah, blah, blah. I'm very tired. But he said, can you do tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock? I said, oh gosh, you got to be figured out quickly. You know? The boss called you, hey, come on, go. I said, okay, I can't do it. My voice is gone, but I try, I can't do it.
Because it's Metropolitan.
And the boss called you, hey, don't forget that.
You got the start. I mean, how did it go after that?
I went there, and Julie Tim was there, and the manager and everybody was there, just listening. And so I got up early. I tried to make my voice come out. It came out, the voice. 11 o'clock in the morning, difficult for singer. So I did audition, and I know there was 7 singers lined up. 7 selected singers. You know how many sopranos? Tons of sopranos. I am lyric coloratura soprano, tons of sopranos.
So what made you win out?
I think it's destiny again.
Do you believe in destiny?
I believe in destiny. I think it was meet the right person at the right time. And the right production, of course, in this case, because they need Asian-looking woman. And opera singer, and really fit the size, and they're really not too big.
Submit or you will die now.
So the Pamina role is of course, principal role. And it was my debut, and also especially was first HD movie version, and meanwhile simultaneous broadcasting worldwide in the movie theater, and later on into the HD video. It was huge promotion. I remember it's 2006. It was 2006 on December 29th.
And there is one area where I sometimes, not maybe with musicians, but in other areas, and the ones who've never been to other countries, once they are put in a foreign environment, competing against their international peers, sometimes confidence would probably be an issue, because they don't really feel confident enough about themselves, even though sometimes there are purely, definitely, absolutely capable of doing things that their international colleagues might be doing. Is that a problem with you when you first, left China to be able to perform together with your overseas colleagues?
Actually, almost none. I know my language was not as good as they are, but I'm confident because I know I have talent. I was confident because I also had experience on stage, concert stage. So I was confident. I know what it was, what I have, what I was good at.
You sometimes also describe yourself as a tough woman.
Do you think I'm tough?
Or do you try to achieve in the end?
Of course, NCPA.
Do you sometimes also describe yourself as a tough woman?
Do you think I'm tough?
No. You mentioned actually to be able to fight, to be able to find a place in
personality.
Yeah,
it's personality. So I think I'm glad I have this personality, which is very energetic, and self-confidence, and optimistic.
You've achieved your, it's like the goal for lots of opera singers, to be able to sing on Metropolitan.
Yeah.
What is your personal, next goal, or do you try to achieve in the end?
I will be continually working on different roles of opera roles, of course, opera roles on different stages, and continually, hopefully, we'll continue singing at the Metropolitan Opera House or other major opera houses of the world, and of course, NCPA, and which I'm very happy, luckily, and I'm really pleased every year I come back every year for 1 or 2 productions, new productions, and principal roles here at NCPA.
Well, it's not just you who are now coming to China, coming back to China more often. We also see more international artists, classical musicians coming to perform at the NCPA and in other cities more frequently.
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
Well, as you know, our country has been opened up, so here we are. We come back, we are invited back to our homeland, to our own National Grand Theatre. So this is a great platform for all of us, and we are coming back to show our talent and to show our experiences over the years.
Okay. Ying, thank you for your time, and we look forward to the Rosenkavalier. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you.